Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Spartans basketball coming up. Sound good? Good. Well, it's going to be a busy weekend here to kick off the 2017-18 campaign here at Case Western Reserve University. The location is the Frostburg Gymnasium, and we are ready for another season of Spartans basketball. We will stand for the national anthem in just a moment, but I'd like to introduce myself first off. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another year. I am Eddie Jansen. This is my 4th season bringing you Spartans basketball action, and we are excited to get underway. It is the 2017 Stephanie Tubbs Jones Memorial Tournament. That is how the Spartan men kick off every season. A second place finish a season ago. Spartans have their eyes on the prize here for first place this year as well. Got an intriguing matchup and a couple of really good competitors here in this building earlier. Montclair State and Greenville University, 2 high-scoring teams, went at it in round 1 in the first game, which tipped off at 5 o'clock, and Montclair State upset Greenville University 120 to 116. So it was an incredibly high-scoring game in the first game as Case welcomes in Frostburg State from Frostburg, Maryland. So we're going to stand and step aside for the anthem, and we'll be back in just a moment. Spartans about ready to take the court here for the first time this season, and we have quite a few new faces to get accommodated with, so we will try to meet as many of them as possible. Second-year head coach Todd McGinnis has now had a recruiting class of his own to bring in, so he's definitely looking forward to that, and many freshmen and first-year players will be in that rotation, including this young man right here, Monty Kellis, sophomore guard out of Sacramento, California. He will run the point for Case Western Reserve. Opposite him, Lawrence Pettis Jr., second-year player out of Baltimore, Maryland, running the point for Frostburg State. Here's the senior, one of two seniors, Colin Zucker, number 10 in his fourth year, a product of Gilmore Academy, and native of Twinsburg. On the opposite end, you have Daniel Alexander, sophomore guard. The rest of the Spartans starting lineups include Darius Inzar, speedy second-year guard out of Sonoma, New York. Connor Nally, sophomore forward at 6'6", 190, and the other forward, the leading rebounder and leading scorer from the team, TJ Duckett, in his fourth year at 6'7", out of Washington, D.C. Dalton Gauze, senior forward, followed by junior forward Edwin Cole for Frostburg, and then Tyler Michael is the leading scorer, fourth-year wing player out of Cumberland, Maryland. A season ago, Case Western Reserve 8-17 overall, just 3-11 in the UAA. That was the first full year for Todd McGinnis, and if you remember to last off season, Todd McGinnis was hired as the head coach of Case in late July. So he didn't particularly have a whole lot of time to get accustomed to the culture here and insert his game plan. But this season, definitely a different Case, is a little bit more relaxed and has had time to get his players accustomed to his system and the way that he wants to run the program. So this is going to be an important season for Case Western Reserve for the future of the program in McGinnis' second year. Opposite of McGinnis is Webb Hatch. He is the 19th year head coach for Frostburg State. They went 7-18 a year ago and 6-12 in their conference, which is the Capital Athletic Conference. Spartans in white and blue. Frostburg State in red and black, and away we go. The 2017-18 year is underway here at the Orsburg Gymnasium as the Spartans look for the win. This is Inzar around the center logo, is going to try to use that Duckett screen, elected not to. 12 seconds to shoot on the shot clock. Zucker with the ball with the left hand, had to give it up. Connor Nally with a 5-second shot clock. Zucker, not a lot of room, pulls up in traffic, and it does not go. Duckett, the offensive rebound. Second try by Duckett, no. Spartans get it back again, and a fresh 30. Nally, that is a deep three, a catch and shoot, and there you have it, the first field goal for the Spartans of the year. It is a triple from Connor Nally, the second-year man, number 32. The left-handed stroke is good. About 1 minute gone by. This is Lawrence Pettis Jr. patrolling that left wing. Inzar is shadowing him. Now we go over to the other side, and a soft floater and a no-go there. It was a runner by Tyler Michael, the leading scorer, and the Spartans grab the miss. Then on the other end, it is Nally. Could not control that pass there. It is a Spartan turnover, and Frostburg State will take over. This is once again going to be a young Spartan team. They have 9 players in their first year, and you would imagine that of that group, odds are you could get a superstar or two out of them. So some of them will see significant time this year, and there was a right-handed floater by Edwin Cole, a junior forward out of Beltsville, Maryland. He has Frostburg on the board. It is the Spartans 3-2 with 18:20 to go. Zucker, the starting two guard, is handling the point at the moment. Here he comes. Last second dump off to Duckett. It is not good, but Duckett with the offensive rebound, and he has put it in. Duckett with the and one, and he will go to the line to complete the three-point play. TJ Duckett, one of the most improved players in the University Athletic Association Conference a season ago. The Spartans' leading scorer at just a shade under 14 a game. And can't forget about those 9 rebounds, as he's one of the best offensive rebounders, as we've already seen 2 on the offensive glass from Duggett. Spartans by 3, about 2 minutes gone by. Digging in on D. Tyler Michael dumps it down low. It is Edwin Cole going to work, and we've got no shot. The clock stops with 18:01 and 16 on the shot clock. It is a Spartan foul, and it is number 1 on the boys in white and blue. TJ Duckett, the senior, picks up his first. Duckett and Zucker, the only 2 seniors on this squad. Both of them likely to see a high volume of minutes, and the turnaround jumper is good. Tyler Michael from about 6 or 7 feet in the post. It'll make it a 1-point game. There's some pressure in the defense by Frostburg State, but the Spartans are able to get it in. Inzar with the ball now on the dump off to Zucker. This is Nally. Trying to get it to TJ in the post. Here he comes. He turns to face. He was guarded by Edwin Cole, and a whistle coming from the whistle of Chris Nelson. Our officiating crew tonight will include the crew chief, Chris Nelson. Also have Eric Mogul and Michael Brody are also in there as well. So the second personal foul on Edwin Cole, and he is a very important part of their lineup. As the catch and shoot 3 is good, and Connor Nally has once again connected from 3-point range. He has 6 of the first Spartan 8 points. Their lead is at 4. Little give and go. Tyler Michael with the left hand had to give it up. 16 to shoot. That is Zucker defending. Traffic. What a good one. That is Tyler Michael. Michael was the leading scorer for the Bobcats a season ago. He gave them 16.5 a night, including 5.5 rebounds. So he has 4 of the first Frostburg State 6. As Zucker, little give and go. Here he comes. Back to Nally, another 3, contested 3 off the front of the iron. No, rebound by Monty Kella. Sophomore guard with the offensive rebound, but it will be a Spartan turnover as we get a look at some new faces. Head coach Todd McGinnis going with a full-scale lineup change. So we have Michael Volkenig, freshman guard, number 3. Also Brian Domke, freshman forward in there as well. The freshman to watch is number 12, Ignis Masioliunis. And he is wearing number 12 with the shooter sleeve for the Spartans. That is a missed field goal, but Frostburg State gets it back and going strong to the rim with a right hand. It is the scoring-minded Tyler Michael. And we have a tie game as Michael has 6 of the first 8 for the Bobcats. That is sophomore Michael Hollis, number 24, working in between the circles. Here he comes off the dribble. Little stutter step there, had to give it up. Volkening came to the ball. Now it is Domke on the give, and a nice feed. A cutting Michael Hollis, the sophomore out of St. Ignatius High School, has put the Spartans back on top. Your score is 10-8. And right away at the other end, that is a Daniel Alexander 2 as he scores in the paint, and we have a 10-10 tie with just over 4 minutes gone by here in the opening period. Hollis thinking about that 3, but the D from Edwin Cole made him think otherwise. Hollis trying to go up strong. Little contact from behind. They're fighting for the ball, and we have a whistle blown. So Michael Hollis, the sophomore forward, is going to pick up his first personal foul. He's got 2 points. And the Spartans have 2 fouls as a team. Jeffrey McMormis, senior number 20, is going to check in for Frostburg State of the Capital Athletic Conference. It's a long 3 from the top of the circle, and that is Dalton Gause, the senior forward at 6'5" out of Cumberland, Maryland, has his first triple, and Frostburg State has its first lead at 13-10. Michael Volkening is going to compete for a lot of minutes at the point guard position. Now bounces one into Masioliunis on the give to the far side, and that is a triple from Michael Volkening. First-year player out of Marengo, Illinois, has tied the game. We are at 13 apiece. There is a Bobcat miss. It is picked up by the Case Western Reserve Spartans, and we will go the other way. Volkening handling the ball. Spartans going to get some youth and athleticism at that point guard position. That is Sam Henson, a returning player, one of 7 returning players. Great ball movement by the Spartans. Everybody touched it, and it is a bucket. The first career collegiate field goal for Ignas Masiuliunas, all the way from Vilnius, Lithuania. And a missed long ball is no good from the Bobcats. Henson was crashing to the floor for the ball, and that drew a whistle as the clock stops with 13:56 to go. First personal foul is assessed to Daniel Alexander, the starting sophomore wing. Another senior coming in for Frostburg State. They have quite a few veteran players on this team. That is the senior Darren Campbell coming off the bench for Frostburg State and getting into the game as the Spartans work on offense with a 2-point lead. Volkening had to give up a pass on the run to Brian Domke, who was in there, but could not handle the pass. It goes out of bounds, and the Spartans will keep it. 15 to shoot. Volkening is the inbounder. On the break, it goes right in to Hollis, but that is no good on a layup attempt there. But the Spartans are going to keep it. Good news is they have a fresh 30 on the clock. And again, they ran the same play. Great synergy between Michael Volkening and Brian Domke, because they are both natives of Illinois and had a good chemistry there. Spartans by 4. Pull-up jumper is in and out. The Alexander miss is picked up by Masiuliunas. And the Spartans bench bunch in the game right now is keeping the game right where it is. But here we go with Todd McGinnis going back to his starters, maybe with one exception. You got Duckett back in there along with Zucker, Darius Inzar, sophomore forward Connor Nally in there. The one exception in a new face for Case Western Reserve is number 13, Antonio Ayanati, a freshman out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, is in there at guard. Tried to give it up to Duckett. Duckett had traveled with the basketball. Well, that is going to be a significant portion of the Spartans' offense here this season, as it was last year. Duckett was a developing story a season ago as they continued to pound the ball with him down low in the post, as he has really developed into an elite scorer on the block. Well, it's got to play a lot of minutes and avoid fouls. And speaking of which, there is a Spartan foul. Frostburg State was in the act of shooting there, so free throws most likely coming. It was Daniel Alexander working underneath. Foul number 1 on Zucker. So Zucker was defending on the penetration move, and Alexander is going to the stripe. Alexander, a season ago, just a 50% free throw shooter at 13 of 26. And is no good on free throw look number 1. Here's the back end of 2, and he will split the pair. So that cuts the Spartan lead to 3. This is a Spartan team that has 9 freshmen on the roster and only 7 returning players, but a lot of optimism for Coach Todd McGinnis in his second season, as Darius Inzar, one of the younger guards as well, and they throw the ball away there. That is another Spartan turnover, so that will give it back over to the Bobcats. The Bobcats are from the Capital Athletic Conference in Frostburg, Maryland, 7-18 a year ago, and 6-12 in conference. Spartans with a light press, but they will back off. Lawrence Pettis Jr. back in there, number 5, will dump it off to Campbell. Near side, Alexander didn't want it. We'll give it up to Campbell, looking for some more ball movement with 15 seconds and counting. Now it is a single-digit shot clock. It's stolen by Zucker on the fast break. Here he comes, and he lays it in. Colin Zucker giving the Spartans some senior leadership. That is his first field goal of the new year, and it is by a transition field goal, so the sharp-shooting Zucker has a 2 to his credit. The Spartans have a 5-point lead. Corner 3, and that is in the air and drilled by Lawrence Pettis Jr., his first field goal of the game. We have seen several 3 balls from both teams already, the latest for the Bobcats. Zucker on the give to TJ. TJ drew some contact, and that will count, and the foul. Duckett once again seeing some contested action down low, and he is going back to the stripe where he was very often a season ago. He went to the line 125 times, had 85 makes. Duckett a 68%er from a season ago, and that one is perfect. The Spartans' lead is 22-17, thanks to 5 points and already 3 offensive rebounds for the senior out of Washington, D.C., TJ Duckett. Bobcats bring it across the timeline. Gregory Gibbs, another senior wing, checking in for the first time. He has touched the ball and dumped it off to Pettis Jr., who tees up a triple. That is off the mark. Iannotti pulls down the rebound for Case Western Reserve, and he gets it back as he crosses the timeline. Zucker open for 3, just a little bit wide. Duckett, another offensive rebound. That one short by Michael Volkening, and we will go the other way with the Bobcats trailing by 5. Digging in on D, Iannotti facing up to Christopher Colson, another new face in there for Frostburg State, and the give to Jeffrey McMorris, the senior forward, has his first points of the night. Bobcats back within 3. Zucker looking for some help. Iannotti came to the ball, working around the wing. That's Volkening, who will figure to see several minutes here this year, and Zucker tried to draw the foul, did not get the whistle. And the Bobcats are coming the other way, coming strong, and we have got a blocking foul on the Spartans, and the Spartan faithful were looking for a charge on Frostburg State, but instead it will be the Bobcats going to the line. Big collision there between Volkening defending for Case and Christopher Costin. Costin, one of many seniors, no good on the first free throw try. Frostburg State, as opposed to the Spartans, they are a veteran bunch, very much so. They have 6 fourth-year players, and the vast majority of them in the starting lineup. So it is youth versus experience here tonight in the season opener in the Stephanie Tubbs-Jones Memorial Tournament here at Case Western Reserve. Just about halfway through, and that is an interception from the Bobcats, and they are able to score in transition. The dish from Pettis Jr., and the bucket on the other end. I do believe it was Gibbs that scored, and we have a foul right in front of the Bobcats bench. It is going to be picked up by the Bobcats, so they now have 5. Number 1 assessed to Gregory Gibbs. Spartan 5 includes Volkening, Hollis, Duckett, Macioli-Yunis, as well as Iannotti. Duckett turning around. Will give it out to the wing. Open for 3. Not going to fall. Duckett tapped it back in. TJ Duckett picking up where he left off a season ago. He is an offensive rebounding machine and scores again for Case. 23. Second consecutive possession for Gregory Gibbs in the scoring category, so he now has 4. The Spartans' lead is down to 1. And we got an open three there. That is a little bit too deep for Masiuli Yunus, who figures to be a star in the making for the Spartans. And Hollis and Duckett combined to block the shot. The Spartans do have numbers, and Antonio Ianetti ends up with the finish, and the Spartans back up. Their lead is 26-23. That is his first collegiate field goal for the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania product. There's the lob and a back tap block by Antonio Ianetti. They tried to lay in an easy one, and he will go all the way. It rolled in and fell. So Ianetti off to a hot start. So all 5 of the Spartan players currently in the game are in the scorebooks. Head fake there. Edwin Cole had it stripped away. Spartans coming the other way. Hollis in transition and well executed. An excellent pass and the setup by Antonio Ianetti, and Hollis with the finish. The Spartans push their lead to 30-23. It's the season opener here at Case Western Reserve. Spartans up by 7. So glad you could join us here on Friday night as the Spartans kick off the 2017-18 season here at home by way of the Stephanie Tubbs Jones Memorial Tournament. Spartans have connected on 13 of their first 25 field goals, and drawing the contact, and he will see free throws. Kostin is a 68%er from the line a season ago, is good with the first, and the Spartans again will go back into their bench. This is going to be a pretty deep rotation for Todd McGinnis in his second year. He has a bench and not afraid to use it. Back in is Darius Inzar, second-year man. Monty Kella also in. Bobcats starting cold from the free throw stripe. They have made just one of their first 4. The Spartans' lead is at 4. As Henson gave it up, Inzar lost the handle. It is up for grabs, and the mad dash to the floor. They are going to say it is a Bobcat basketball on the loose ball as Inzar went sliding to the floor to grab the loose ball. Also going to call a Spartan foul. Inzar, second-year guard, is going to pick up his first personal. So that is now foul number 6 for the Spartans. So they'll have to go in no foul mode, or else it will result in some free throws. Though the Bobcats have missed a few early ones, though. Inzar digging in on D. Not going to let Jordan Johnson go anywhere. They'll kick it back to the top of the key. This is Alexander trying to create some room here. Here he comes on the dump off to Cole. It was a good cut. Shot clock down to 5. The miss. Shot clock resets. It is up for grabs and out of bounds. Frostburg State will maintain possession, and the stoppage in play will allow Duckett to get back into the game. TJ with 5 points and just 1 foul. Soft little lay in there. That one is good. Edwin Cole showing the touch. So Cole now has 6. Will tie him for the lead of players on the floor. Tyler Michael also has 6. He is their top scorer from a year ago. Ianetti loses the handle. Able to get it back. Spartans swinging around. Here comes Inzar. Little bump, no whistle, and the Spartans come up empty. Bobcats, quick trigger, not going to fall. Rebound to Inzar. Coming over the timeline, he is a speedy player, kind of reminds you of Javi Alvarez from a season ago. Used to love watching Javi go up and down the floor, and Inzar has that same speed and agility. Post-up opportunity for Duckett. And he had to give it up, tried to create a shot for someone else. Now Frostburg State is going to be ahead of the pack. And scoring in with a burst of speed, it is Jordan Johnson, another one of those seniors, one of 6 four-year players. Hansen had it blocked. Daniel Alexander came flying in out of nowhere and rejected the shot as the Spartans tried to go back in front with our score tied at 30. Inzar and Sam Hansen are going to go back to the bench and take a breather as the Spartans have seen that 7-point lead dissipate into a tie. There is a 3-ball in the air. It is in and out. The miss by Maciuli Yunus is going to be rebounded by Frostburg State. Frostburg State uses the glass. That was, I think, a field goal attempt by Tyler Michael, but it was cleaned up off of the glass by a fellow Bobcat. It was once again Edwin Cole, who all of a sudden has 8 points. Here comes Duckett, the up and under, and he missed it. TJ might have thought there was somebody coming in from behind, so he went with the up and under, didn't get it to go. And now Frostburg State heating up on offense as Tyler Michael quickly scores at the other end, and all of a sudden, it is the Bobcats up by 4, looking to make it 5 with the and 1. Todd McGinnis wants to talk. And the Spartans, with now just less than 5 minutes to go, are trailing by 4. It's a season opener here on athletics.case.edu. Back to work we go. Good evening, everyone. I once again am Eddie Jansen here, bringing you all of the action here in the season opener for the Spartans 2017-18 season. To say that we had some scoring in the opening game of the tournament was a bit of an understatement. Montclair State, a victor over Greenville University, 119 to 114, and we've got some scoring here in game 2 as well. The Spartans down by 4 with just under 5 minutes remaining, but both teams shooting well. Frostburg State has increased their shooting percentage to 53.5%. Spartans have dropped to 43%. It has been a little bit of a Bobcat run as of late. In fact, I do believe it has been an 11-0 Frostburg run, because the Spartans led 30 to 23 at one point, so they're looking to get back on the scoreboard with some new faces on the floor, including Hollis and Colin Zucker checking back in. Hollis working up high, the big forward coming at it with 7 to shoot. That is knocked away by Dalton Gauze. The senior lengthy forward knocking that pass away. The Spartans have only 4 seconds to get a shot off here. Looking for something quick. It goes up in the air, and a good bucket. Connor Nally at one point, who had scored 6 straight points for the Spartans, gets them back on the scoreboard. He has 8, looking for 9, and the Spartans looking to pull within 1. Picking up that foul was Jordan Johnson, so he has 1. And Nally, who is going to be a huge part of the Spartan rotation, has outright won the job and provides a lot of different things for Case Western Reserve. There's a jump hook and a miss from Dalton Gauze, but a whistle in favor of the Bobcats. It will stop play with 4:12 to go. And some contact underneath illegally. Chris Nelson says Spartan foul. 8 fouls for Case Western Reserve. The first personal picked up by the guy who just scored at the other end, Connor Nally. providing all kinds of length and defense to the Spartans as one of their better two-way players. It's a no-go on the second free throw from the Bobcats, so they have not executed from the charity stripe today. Here is a contested three, and swishing it is Ignas Massiulionis. He is going to be something of a fan favorite here at Case Western Reserve, coming all the way from Lithuania, and a product of Culver Academy's high school in Indiana. Spartans are back in front. Hollis, a defensive rebound, a tough one, and he was sandwiched in between two Bobcat defenders, so a whistle and a Bobcat foul will send the Spartans to a 1-on-1 situation. Does appear to be Michael Hollis, second-year man, who made 8 trips to the free throw line a year ago, connected on 6 of them, so he is good for 75%. I would probably say is a much better free throw shooter than the numbers would indicate, but he will see more trips to the line this year with his cuts to the basket and his post-scoring opportunity. Also a very good shooting forward as well, as he gives the Spartans a bit of a stretch 4, if you will. That one off the mark, though. Nally tried to put it back. That one no good. Saved by Pettis Jr., and the red and black will take it away. Spartans in a zone D with some hands up, going right into the teeth of the defense, and a hard one off the glass, but Alexander fed it right into the hole. He now has 5 points, and we are tied at 36 apiece. Zucker scanning the D, runs into a double team. It is coughed up, a Spartan turnover. Pettis Jr. takes it away, and in traffic, that one no good. Rebound to Volkening. We'll tee it up to Nally for a triple. No, off the mark. Hollis went to the deck, got the ball, and called a timeout with 2:49 to go. We have a tie score here in game number 1 of a long season. The Spartan men tied at 36 apiece. Come on back for the conclusion of the first half here on athletics.case.edu. Starting off a brand new season here at the Frostburg Gymnasium. Welcome back inside, everyone. I am Eddie Jansen, bringing you all the action for the 4th consecutive year. As the Spartans led it by as many as 7 at one point, now we've got a tie score, and they are working inside, trying to get the ball to TJ Duckett, and he has created a little bit of contact down there. Duckett has 5 points. He will try to add to his total. He'll have to do it by way of free throws, as Duckett a season ago, a 68% free thrower. Too firm on the opening try, so Duckett gets one more. There goes Michael Volkening. He goes back to the bench. Sam Henson checking back in. Henson, sophomore guard out of Mason, Ohio, and a product of Archbishop Moeller High School. Under 3 minutes to play. Quick trigger three. It is a tad bit short. Pettis could not connect, but the Bobcats get it back, and they lay it in for a 2-point lead. Pettis Jr. got his own miss and was able to clean it up, as it is the Bobcats over the Spartans by 2, approaching 2 minutes to go. Duckett working hard again. Here he comes, too strong. Rebound to Marquise Wilkerson, who has checked into the game. And that's a deep 3. Dalton Gauze not going to go. But again, the Bobcats get the putback attempt, and Pettis puts it in. And the Bobcats have pushed their lead to 4. So the offensive rebounding of Frostburg State is working as of late. Now 7 points for Lawrence Pettis Jr. We'll be back under 2 minutes to play. Lots of scoring early in this one. Welcome back, everyone. I am Eddie Jansen. It is the Spartans and the Frostburg State University Bobcats. A press that will go full court. Hollis gets it into Hansen. And the Bobcats will pull back as we are now inside of 2 minutes to play. This is Antonio Iannotti, one of 9 freshmen coming in this year, and the feed to Hollis could not get the floater to go, but the back tap is also no good. Domke's miss doesn't get the job done, and the clock stops. 1:34 to play. Spartans are maintaining it as it went out of bounds. Pretty young lineup in there for the Spartans. Only 2 sophomores on the floor. Everybody else in their first year. Turning around to face with some skill, that is Macioliunas, and driving underneath. That is Iannotti going straight into the teeth of the defense and lays it in with the left hand. So a strong opening performance by Antonio Iannotti with 6 points. Pettis Jr. trying to find a way to get around him. Iannotti was defending. Quick pull-up is no good, but again, the offensive putback. It was Tyler Michael, the leading scorer from a season ago. He is the first to double figures for the Bobcats, who have extended their lead to 42-38. Under a minute to go. Taking a look at the D. That's Ignis, and laying it in. Michael Hollis, another great pass. Ignis, Macioliunas, and Hollis working together to get the score. Hollis has 6 points, and the dish goes to the freshman from Lithuania. And another bucket for Frostburg State. 7 points now for the sophomore forward, Daniel Alexander. Could be the final possession. Shot clock, it's about a half-second differential. The Spartans can hold contact way up high as Macioliunas was trying to create some space. Dalton Gauze and Pettis got in there, one of which will pick up the foul. It will go to Dalton Gauze. Foul number 9 in the Bobcats. And the first trip to the line in the collegiate career of Ignis Macioliunas, who came in quickly off the bench and has provided a spark and really an all-around game for the Spartans. That free throw gives him 6 points, but what we have seen in the first half of Ignis Macioliunas is he's really a 5-tool player. Very complete player at the point guard position. He can score, he can shoot, he can pass, he can defend. Definitely the cream of the crop of the 2021 Spartan class. Splits the pair from the line, and they will try to score just before the half, and we got a whistle as the clock stopped with 3.8 to go as Macioliunas tried to block it away. But we're going to the other end of the floor, so the Spartans get a break there as Daniel Alexander is the guilty Bobcat. It is foul number 10 for their team and the 3rd personal foul for Daniel Alexander. So Hansen is going to shoot for the Spartans. Hansen had a productive season a year ago, 71% from the line, gave the Spartans 6.5 points a game, including 7 steals and 33 assists in just his first year. But now one of the more experienced players for Case in year number 2. He has brought the Spartans to within 2. That would make it 1, and it does. They have 3.8 seconds to work with, do the Bobcats, and they do blow the whistle, but a traveling violation against Tyler Michael. But it does leave 0.8 seconds on the clock, so let's see what the Spartans do here. They'll go with Duckett back in the game and Inzar as well. Domke is going to sit, so the Spartans go with their test lineup there. Duckett tries to throw it up. It does not go, but the Spartans with a pretty productive first half, but the Bobcats have caught up and have taken the lead. Their lead is at 44-43 over Case. We are at halftime. We will be back for the second half here on athletics.case.edu here in the season opener. just about ready to get the second half underway as we are in game number 1 of a long season here with Spartans men's basketball, beginning with the 2017 Stephanie Tubbs Jones Memorial Tournament. As we usually do, the Spartans hosting Frostburg State University, and depending on the outcome of this, we will have either Greenville or Montclair State. Montclair State was the winner in the early game in the tournament as they won 119 to 114, defeating Greenville. Spartans looking to play at 4 o'clock tonight. That's when the winner of this game will play. The loser will play at 2 o'clock tomorrow, as the Spartans behind the Bobcats by just 1 point at 44 to 43. Leading all scorers is Tyler Michael. He had 15.5 points a season ago. He's got 10 of them now in 15 minutes. Has gone 5 of 8 for his Bobcats. For the Spartans, their leading scorer is Connor Nally, who has connected on 2 triples. Has 9 points in just 6 minutes on 3 of 6 shooting from the floor. TJ Duckett, also a worthy mention, 7 points, 7 rebounds, 5 of which come on the offensive glass. Duckett overall has gone 3 of 8 from the field, but just 1 of 4 from the free throw line. Speaking of the free throw line, both teams off to a bit of a slow start, hitting their free throws from the charity stripe. Case is 5 of 10. Frostburg, however, is just 2 of their first 8 from the line. The good news for the Spartans is that most of their field goals in the first half were assisted. They had 17 field goals in 39 tries with 12 assists, so that is a productive number for a young Spartan team, sharing the basketball and making sure that most of those buckets are assisted. Going right to the rim and scoring, that is Lawrence Pettis Jr. He had 7 in 15 minutes for his club. He now has his 4th field goal, give him 9 points, and Frostburg has a 3-point lead now. Spartans led by as many as 7. Their biggest lead was at 30 to 23. Then they hit a bit of a cold stretch, but Colin Zucker gets the Spartans back on the board. It was a quiet first half for Colin, just 2 points to his credit. He now has 4. Spartans deficit is 1. Here's a pull-up jumper, contested, but a no-go on the part of Tyler Markle. Spartans will take away the rebound. It's in the hands of Inzar. Little give and go, Zucker, and contact on the exchange. So it is a offensive violation against the Spartans. About a minute into the second half. Bobcats get it back, looking to add to a slim 1-point lead. The Spartans controlled about the first 9 or 10 minutes of the first half, but then we mentioned that cold stretch where they went quite a while without a field goal, and there's Lawrence Pettis Jr. scoring again. He now has 11. He will lead all scorers. Post-up opportunity. Duckett is drawing the double team. They will try to discourage TJ posting up as much as they can because they know of his offensive rebounding abilities. That's not going to go. Antonio Ionati was feeling it. The contested jumper is off of the mark, and the Bobcats get it back. There's a tough fadeaway to Inzar, forced the miss. That one there, Pettis was just feeling it and was way off, did not draw iron. Give on the run. TJ is blocked from behind. Spartans wanted a foul, did not get it. It was Edwin Cole on the rejection. And Frostburg will draw up a play. There's the screen in the middle there, well defended by Case Western Reserve, and going up with it and blocked by Connor Nally. Nally wanted no part of that dribble penetration from Lawrence Pettis Jr., and the Nally defense gives the ball back to Case. We mentioned what a great two-way player Connor Nally has become. He's got great length at 6'6", 190. He's got the hops as well. There's a 3 a little deep. Rebound to Tyler Michael. Will go the other way. As Frostburg State working from right to left on your internet picture, as that one is a no-go. Edwin Cole tried to do a spin around, turnaround jumper. Nally a quick release for three. It is no good, but Zucker found the offensive glass. Duckett is on the block. Needs a little bit of help, found Zucker. Ionati sets his feet for three, that's good. Antonio Ionati has given the Spartans some excellent minutes off of the bench, but did not have a field goal to show for it prior to then. He is officially on the board, and we are tied at 48. Frostburg will whip it around. It is Inzar digging in and shadowing the ball handler. Now over to Tyler Michael. He is working on Ionati and scores on him, going right over the top. And Frostburg State now with 50 points, 12 courtesy of Tyler Michael. Duckett again going to work on the block, drew that double team. Here comes Ionati, strong right-hander, and that one will go. Ionati 5 straight points, but quickly the other way. It is Frostburg State pushing the tempo. The senior Tyler Michael answering the call. 14 points now on another deuce. And the Spartans will go back to work. Long three. That is good. Monty Kella has 6 points. On his second triple of the game. Stolen. Zucker got it away and could not finish, but there was contact as the senior was going right to the rim. Was it in the act of shooting? I guess we'll find out in just a second. Full scale changes for Todd McGinnis. Everybody going to the bench, so evidently that was not in the act on the part of Zucker, but he did draw the first foul assessed to the Bobcats. It is picked up by Dalton Gauze, the fourth-year man. All new faces in there for Case Western Reserve as Todd McGinnis will use his bench early and often. A lot of new faces in there, including Michael Volkening, first-year player out of Marengo, Illinois. Plucked out of there. Pettis got his hands on the ball, but a wild shot in transition, and the Spartans will come away with no points surrendered there. And a quick pull-up, too. Tough one. Macioli Eunice could not get it to fall, but we've got a whistle on the floor as the clock stops about 5 minutes into the second half, and the Spartans working with a 1-point lead. Chris Nelson says Frostburg State foul number 1 assessed to Lawrence Pettis Jr., who has had a solid game offensively for them, and a quick trigger triple is off the side of the backboard. Macioli Eunice missed that badly, and at the other end, the flush by Alexander. Well, the difference that has gotten Frostburg back into this game after trailing by 7 is they have a sense of urgency to get up and down the floor. Many buckets have been scored after Spartan baskets, and here we go again, but that fastball pass was just out of the reach of Daniel Alexander, and there's the turnover. But again, you see Frostburg really just with a keen sense of urgency. They are really pushing the pace and the tempo and forcing the Spartans to guard full court, and it has resulted in some instant offense for the Bobcats. Spartans looking for a bucket here as Macioli Eunice drew a little bit of a bump but scored anyway, so he has 8 points in his Spartan debut. And the Spartans lead is back at 1, and he tried to get the rebound, came up short. Instead, it was Edwin Cole who tried to get the soft tapper to go, but all kinds of red uniforms were in the area. And a travel violation on the Spartans. Well, we talked about the transition offense for Frostburg State. How about the offensive rebounding on the part of the Bobcats? That has dug the Spartans in a little bit of a hole. Antonio Ionati back in there. Volkening is going to sit for the Spartans. Hansen defending. Now it is Tyler Michael, and he gets a tough one, a spin-around shot to go off of the glass. 16 points now for the veteran Tyler Michael. His Bobcats lead is now at 3. We've got 13 and a half to play. Hansen in trouble. Hollis for a long one. It was tad short. Here we go. Once again, Frostburg State pushing it up the floor, but it did not result in points. So the Spartans catch a break there. And we'll look to rebound it as working with that left hand. Masayola Yunus was going right to the rim, and he has drawn some contact. TJ Duckett and Monty Kella are waiting to check back in, and they will get in there as Masayola Yunus is going to take a breather. Ryan Domke also will sit, freshman out of Hoffman Estates, Illinois. Shot clock at 20. Spartans with all kinds of time. It is Hansen losing the handle, but it goes off of the knee of Lawrence Pettis Jr., says Michael Brody. Iannotti to inbound. And a quick whistle down low. It was Duckett in action with Edwin Cole, who will be a tough matchup for him, but a foul away from the ball. So that is foul number 4 already on the Bobcats and number 4 on Edwin Cole. So Webb Hatch, 19th year head coach for the Bobcats, will try to quickly get him out of the game as he now has no more fouls to give. His next will be his last. So the Spartans are in good shape in that department. They do not yet have a foul, but down by 3 in need of some offense. Hansen on the give. Iannotti here. He comes. A rack attack. Not going to go, but a whistle drawn, and the Spartans are going to see free throws once again. Jordan Johnson with number 2 on his foul stat sheet. Monty Kella, second-year man all the way from Sacramento, California. Going to see significant time in the guard rotation for second-year head coach Todd McGinnis. Has 7, looking for 8. And he converts them both to the Spartans within 1. Frostburg State playing at a very different pace offensively than they were to begin the game. Much more fast pace. There is a quick trigger 3 is going to the floor as Darren Campbell, and he is a little slow to get up, but the Spartans will try their own transition offense, and Duckett is able to flush it. Duckett just beat everybody up the floor and was able to slam it in there, and the Spartans go up by 1. 9 points for TJ Duckett, and there's a 3 in the corner. Tyler Michael answering the call. Give Tyler Michael 19 points. He has by far been the top scorer for either team. Monty Kella on the drive. That is not going to go. And at the other end, a whistle and a foul. Frostburg State just looks to be a different team when they are active offensively and pushing the ball up and down the floor. That has ignited their offense, and they have another and 1 opportunity thanks to the second foul for the Spartans. It was the second-year man, Michael Hollis, picking up the first Spartan foul of the second half, but it results in a 3-point play possibility for Tyler Michael. Almost got his own miss, but the ball is up for grabs, and Frostburg State gets it back, and we are going back to the line once again. Lawrence Pettis Jr., a very heads-up play on his part. So the struggles from the charity stripe continue for Frostburg State, but an offensive rebounding department has assisted them quite a bit. So more free throws on the way. This time 2 looks at the line for Lawrence Pettis Jr. Local product, native of Baltimore, Maryland. Perry Hall High School, second-year guard. That was as good a look at the free throw line as really either team has had tonight as he makes them both. That's the biggest Bobcat lead. It is at 65-59, nearly a Spartan turnover, but they get it to go. I think Monte Kella is going to be a fan favorite here as you see the emotion, the intensity, and he lays it in. That was not the prettiest of plays, but he made it work and was able to find a way to score it. As Kella will try to complete the three-point play. Currently the only Spartan on the floor in double figures. He's got 10, now give him 11. Spartans within one possession as we are under 12 minutes to play here in the opening round of the weekend tournament here. Three is good. Tyler Michael just continues to be a thorn in the Spartan side. He has now 24 points, by far the leading scorer. There's a screen from Nally, opened up for three. Monte Kella is doing some heavy lifting in the scoring department for the Spartans. They are back within a triple thanks to the long ball from the right wing from Monte Kella. He is defending. Jordan Johnson trying to go around him, but will go over him instead as the mid-range jumper is good. Frostburg State 70, Case Western Reserve 65. The Spartans led by 7. The Bobcats' biggest lead is at 6, and a tough one off the glass. Ignis Macioliunas. He and Monte Kella have 24 points combined. Not a bad Spartan debut at all. Gonna slow things down. Quick trigger three. Tyler Michael was feeling it, but that one did not go, and the Spartans get it back. Here he comes once again. The Kella runner is no good. Spartans offensive rebound. Nally, three in the air. That's good. Connor Nally had the first 2 triples for the Spartans. There's another one. He has 12 points. He's the third Spartan scorer in double figures, and we are once again all tied at 70. A very entertaining opening game. They tried to get it to a cutting Jeffrey McMorris. That did not work. But Frostburg State will keep it. So that is a sight for sore eyes for Spartan fans. Tyler Michael, 24 points. He will take that over to the bench, and Frostburg State will be without their top scorer, replaced by Marquise Wilkerson and a few others. Soft touch off the glass, that'll go. The Bobcats do know how to use the glass as well. Quite a few players have scored some bank shots here on a Friday night. Macioliunas on the give to a cutting Volkening. Back to Macioliunas. No, another offensive rebound for TJ Duckett. He drew some players to his side, and then air ball by Nally. The three ball was too deep. The putback attempt by Kella did not go either. The Spartans will have to defend as here we go in transition. It's short, and Jordan Johnson could not get it to go. Had an open three, but passed it up, did Marquise Wilkerson. They will run a play and try to use up all of that shot clock. It is now at 15. Spartans rotating around to the ball. A little bit of room to work. High arcing runner. The teardrop is good for Jordan Johnson. He's given them a 6-point spark off of the bench and a 4-point lead for the Bobcats. Nally going into the post, trying to open it up for Duckett. They'll toss it down there. Duckett again drawing a double team, and Duckett a hard hat foul, turning to face and going to the rim. TJ Duckett has drawn a double team nearly every time he has posted up, and he is going back to the charity stripe with foul number 7 assessed to the Bobcats. Wilkerson's first foul. They will continue to send TJ to the line. He'll have to make his free throws. TJ really has established himself as one of the top offensive rebounders in the UAA. So he will split the pair. He'll be replaced by Michael Hollis, so TJ will sit. 13 points and 9 rebounds a season ago for TJ Duckett in his breakout year. He's got 10 points with just 1 foul, but he'll go to the bench to get some rest. The Spartans will try to chip into this 3-point deficit. We are approaching the 8-minute mark here at the Frostburg Gymnasium. Zucker defending, had a hand in the face right there. Well defended by the senior guard. That forces a miss. The Spartans get it back. It's a loose ball as Nally got it back, but an over and back violation against the boys in white and blue. Frostburg State, as of the last 7 or 8 possessions or so, have slowed things down a bit as compared to what we saw that stretch that got them back in the game. That was in and out, rebound to Case. Alley back to Zucker. Zucker will launch a 3. It bounced out of there. Hollis, the offensive glass. A fresh 30 for the Spartans. They'll toss it down to a cutting Hansen. It is out of bounds and last touched, I believe, by Hansen. Bobcats will get it back. 7 minutes, 34 seconds to play. In comes a starter, Dalton Gauze, and out comes Jordan Johnson, senior out of Baltimore. Spartan 5 includes Zucker, Nally, Hollis, Hansen, and the 5th member is Michael Volkening, the freshman. That was an odd-looking play. Campbell rose to his feet, but he elected to pass there. So either way, the Spartans get it back at a turnover. Hansen on the curl. Hollis tried to basically do the same thing. He jumped, but passed it in the air, trying to do what J.R. Smith did in the Cavs game a couple nights ago on the assist of the night. But it didn't work either. So Spartans will have to get back on D. Spartans hoping to play at 4 o'clock tonight. That's when the winner of this contest will play the consolation game at 2 o'clock. The Spartans split the pair in last year's Stephanie Tubbs-Jones tournament. Tough 2. Jordan Johnson checked back into the game. He came out real quick and then came right back in and hit a mighty tough shot with 3 defenders right in his face. Zucker with a man, had the give and rejected. The runner from Ionati was swatted away, and the Bobcats come back. And a whistle on the floor that was crashed into the ground. Antonio Ionati, and the Bobcats were battling for the ball, so we'll go the other way. So there is quite a discrepancy in the foul department. It's a concern for Frostburg State at the moment. It is not for the Spartans. Case has 2, Bobcats with 8. It is a 1-and-1 situation for the freshman out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Hampton High School, Antonio Ionata. Got to make the first to get the second, so the first one is no good and off the mark. Another 3 in the corner. That's off the mark. Daniel Alexander misfires. Zucker thought about it. Will go over in the corner to Ionati. And he is good. So he is quickly coming up on double figures. Give him 9 points on another made 3. That one in the corner. Spartans again in that zone. Another corner triple, and that one is good. Darren Campbell connects from range. And another 3-point make. Ionati feeling it. so quickly. He is now in the books with a double-figure scoring affair in just his first game, and that has bring the Spartans within 2. 5:35 to play. Spartans behind 79-77, but they're not going down, and neither will we. We'll be back in a moment. Back to action we go. Quite a bit of scoring in the opening game of the Stephanie Tubbs Jones Memorial Tournament. Montclair State, a 119-114 winner over 21-6 Greenville University. And we are quickly coming up on 80 points for both teams. We'll see one of the higher scoring affairs for the Spartans here as well. 79-77 your score. The Bobcats over the Spartans. Frostburg State continues to shoot over 50%, and they will give the Spartans a different look. It is the leading scorer, Tyler Michael, now working the point. A tall task being defended by Ignis Macioliunas. 10-second shot clock. Tried to use the glass, would not go, but free throws on the way for Frostburg University. They did not do well from the line early on. They were just 2 of 8 in the first half. That is only the 3rd Spartan team foul.
Heading to the line for the Bobcats, number 10, Jordan Johnson.
It is Jordan Johnson from the stripe. The Bobcats collectively as a unit just 4 of 11 from the free throw stripe. They will hope to build on that. The Spartans started off a little slow, but have improved on that number at 9 of 16. So that will extend the Bobcats' lead to 3. Make it 4. Spartan 5 includes Ionati, Nally, who you see has the ball there. We've also got TJ Duckett, Macioliunas. And they trail by 4 with less than 5 minutes to play. The Duckett screen up high. And a good active set of hands there. It was knocked away, courtesy of Edwin Cole, who has been something of a defensive presence down low for Frostburg State. And the Spartans have 9 seconds with which to work. Every Spartan on the floor has scored in double figures, so that is a very good sign, but that one is not. That's a steal, courtesy of Daniel Alexander, and the Bobcats with a 4-point lead will try to extend it. Michael working on the young freshman. TJ Duckett pried it loose, and the Spartans take that ball away, forcing a Bobcat turnover. Monty Kella will tee it up for 3. Duckett temporarily broke him free, but that one is off the mark. Spartans have shot pretty well from 3-point range. That'll put them right at about 40% off of that miss, but a wide open look, and there it is. Jordan Johnson swishes that one, and now the Bobcats have their biggest lead of the night. It is at 7. Give 13 points to Jordan Johnson. Monty Kella going up strong, came up short, and a whistle. There will be a foul. It is on the Spartans. It is their 4th. Number 2 on TJ Duckett. TJ's going to come out, including just about everybody once again. McGinnis bringing in that bench bunch. That includes Hollis and Hanson. They are racing and chasing down Jordan Johnson, who came up short. And at quarter 3 in the air, short once again. The defensive glass courtesy of Michael Hollis. The Spartans will go on the other way with some new faces in there, including Darius Inzar, who uses that double screen up high. Zucker back in there. Been a quiet night for the senior. Zucker has just 4 points. Hollis will tee it up for 2 and knocks it down. Little baseline jumper from Michael Hollis brings the Spartans within 5, but they need some defensive stops as Frostburg has picked up the pace on the offensive side of the ball. Miscommunication there. Jordan Johnson tried to hit a cutting man, but he cut the other way, and the Spartans will try to take advantage of that. They have now substituted some of the less experienced scorers on the floor. The previous unit for the Spartans had all 5 players in double figures, so the biggest question for the Spartans is where is the offense going to come from at this point? You've got shooters such as Zucker and Hanson and Hollis, but can't afford those. That's the steal from Gauze and the give on the run to Jordan Johnson. It did not result in Frostburg points. Well, with the way that the Bobcats ran in transition towards the end of the first half and the start of the second, Spartans have no question had to make that adjustment. Speaking of adjustments, Tyler Michael with excellent body control, and he has more to his total, 26 points now for the senior. Hollis cutting, had to give it up. Hanson for a triple. So rubber rimmer did not go, and the Spartans are going to come up empty once again. Another foul, believe it was Hanson picking up his 3rd personal, so the Spartans still have 1 foul to give with number 5. Hanson quickly has 3. And they do need to press down by 7. They are going to need to come up with some stops as well as some buckets at the other end, so they're trying to create some pressure. You see Inzar with the hands up there guarding Lawrence Pettis Jr. Here he comes. Went right into the hole, and an excellent job done on the part of Sam Hanson. Drawing the offensive foul. Hanson taking a shot, went to the deck, and the Spartans will get it back. So 9 fouls now for the Bobcats. The next will result in 2 shots as Hanson cannot connect on the 3. Spartans needed that one, and we are now under 2 minutes and a 7-point deficit. That is Darius Inzar right in front of the center logo, fouling Lawrence Pettis Jr., who was coming quickly up the floor. So Inzar has 2. Inzar has not scored, and this is his first start of his collegiate career. Spartans have some work to do. Hollis took it away. Spartans will have it. It is Iannotti, but cannot cash in. The Spartans have needed that. That's 2 big possessions in a row where the Spartans came up empty. Open for 3. That's Dalton Gauze, but he could not connect. Well, Frostburg State has had some opportunities to really put this one away, but the Spartans are not letting them do it at this time, so they are still within striking distance, but it is time to deliver for Case Western Reserve, so they're going to get a little bit of help in the form of free throws as the 10th foul picked up by the Bobcats. So Hollis going to shoot free throws. Hollis in his 2nd year, one of 7 returners for Case Western Reserve. Hollis a season ago played in 16 games, also got 4 starts, gave him just a hair under 4 points a game, and is a very versatile player. High-arcing free throw is good, so the Spartans get a big one. They needed to make at least one here to come within 2 possessions, but they need every point they can get now. Hollis a second time, and that's good. Hollis, the latest Spartan with double digits in points. So they're harassing the ball handler. It was Lawrence Pettis Jr., and seeing the free throw woes of the Bobcats, that is what the Spartans have elected to do. They want to foul early and often, and especially in the 1-and-1 scenario. So it might be a different scenario if you're shooting 2, but if it's a 1-and-1, that one short. Rebound to Brian Domke. And the Spartans down 5. It is crunch time. Inzar gliding all the way to the rim. That's his first bucket of the game. Inzar is on the scoreboard, and it could not have come at a bigger time. Inzar with a burst of speed, putting the Spartans within 3, and we've got a good one on our hands. This will go down to the wire. 1:17, I beg your pardon, to play. Spartans down by 3. Back in a flash. Back inside the Horaceburg Gymnasium, off to a pretty good start here at the Stephanie Tubbs Jones Memorial Tournament. Welcome back inside, everyone. I am Eddie Jansen. A big Darius Inzar bucket in the paint has made it a 1-possession game. The Spartans trailed by 9. They are back within 1 possession. And a quick timeout taken by the Bobcats. So an excellent job of defense on the Spartans' part, forcing Frostburg to burn a timeout. Clock stops with 1:15 to go. Well, the reason that the Spartans all gathered towards the ball was because of the Bobcats' top scorer, Tyler Michael, who has seemingly hit just about every shot he has had to make. He is in a different category here at this point with his 26 points and his overall shooting ability, and able to score from just about anywhere on the floor. So the Spartans had to deny Tyler Michael the opportunity when the ball went into his hands. It's a young unit on the floor for the Spartans. It is Brian Domke along with Ignas Macioliunas, Antonio Iannotti, Darius Inzar, and Michael Hollis. So no starters on the floor for Case Western Reserve, but this will give them a good source of energy. They will need it on the defensive end. Well, breaking free and laying it in, Tyler Michael did exactly what he needed to do. They needed to put 2 bodies on him, but he scores once more. 28 points now. Domke for 3. That is too deep, and a whistle on the floor. Looks like it's on the Bobcats, and it is. Well, they did not need that. I did believe it was possibly away from the ball. How about that? That is the first personal foul on Tyler Michael. He has had some kind of night offensively, but not to mention defensively. Ignas Macioliunas has swished the first, hoping to bring the Spartans within a possession. We are under a minute to go. Todd McGinnis grabbing Connor Nally and says, get over to the scorer's table. I need you in the game ASAP. He just has the look of a basketball player, does Ignas Macioliunas. 2 easy free throws there. And we are locked in a tight one. 55 seconds to go. It is the Spartans behind by 3, but got a long way before this one will be over. The Bobcats will have the ball when we return. Spartan men not going away. It's a young Spartan team that led by 7 in the early part of the first half, but they have only led by a small margin ever since. Currently, it is the Bobcats by 3, the score of 88-85, but the Spartans, with under a minute to play, are in need of a defensive stop. Don't necessarily have to foul. They just have to make sure that they foul the right guy. That's not the right guy. Got to get it out of the hands of Tyler Michael. And they do, so now they will foul. Clock stops at 42.5 to go. Well, just for a minute there, Tyler Michael had the ball in his hands and everybody went swarming over to him, but thankfully he gave it up immediately. That is the last Bobcat player that you want at the free throw line. Instead, it is going to be number 5, Lawrence Pettis Jr., the second-year man out of Baltimore. Couple of big free throws coming up for him. So since we're in the 1-and-1, he'll get another. It's a big one. It makes it a 2-possession game, but the Spartans with some spacing and three-point shooting on the floor, going with a smaller unit. Well, Frostburg all of a sudden having a little bit more success from the line, and that's not what the Spartans were hoping for, so they need a quick bucket. Here comes Inzar, swatted away by Tyler Michael. It is out of bounds, and they say, whose ball? Looked like the initial call was Bobcats basketball, but we'll find out who it is in just a second as the clock stops with 34.5 to go. It's going to be Spartan basketball. Zucker, the best three-point shooter, was the inbounder. Hollis has to go right to the rim, goes up with the right hand and drops it in. So Michael Hollis comes through in the clutch. He now has 12 and will need to make another free throw to bring the Spartans even closer, as Zucker and Masayola Yunus are coming off of the floor. Ayanati back in there along with Inzar and Domke for rebounding purposes. About a second differential between shot clock and game clock, and they will have to foul. Ayanati got a hold of him right there, so he is going to have foul number 1. So that is Jordan Johnson going to the line. The Bobcats hit just 2 of their first 8 tries from the charity stripe, but have since made the adjustment and a much more respectable percentage number. But we are still in the 1-and-1, so that is the miss that the Spartans were hoping for. The shot clock is turned off. It is Ignis Masayola Yunus in a 2-point game, and a Spartan timeout. It is called by Todd McGinnis. So we're going to have a nail biter here one way or another. The Spartans can elect to take the last shot should they want to, but also considering the struggles from Frostburg State of the charity stripe, they may elect to take a quick shot and see what they get at the other end. But we have had some very solid Spartan debuts here in the first game of the year, especially on the part of Ignis Masayola Yunus from Lithuania. He has 12 points, couple of assists, couple rebounds. He has done a little bit of everything for the Spartans. Also, Antonio Ianetti has had a really good game, 12 points as well, and just 1 foul between the 2 of those young players. This is a big moment for a young team as the veterans, Duckett and others, not in the game at the moment, but you do see Zucker coming back into the game. Of course, you need his three-point range. Can't go without the sharp shooting of Zucker at this point. It's Zucker, Masayola Yunus, Nally, Hollis, and Iannotti, all with the ability to shoot from distance. And remember, the Bobcats have 10 fouls, so they cannot foul. The next one would result in 2 free throws. Macioliunas all the way to the rack, came up short, got the miss, and put it back. Ignas Macioliunas, a big moment in his career. We are tied, going to the rack, and out of bounds. It will remain Bobcat ball with 1.9 to go. How about that bucket for Ignas Macioliunas? We Spartan fans were really hoping for possession on that play, but Chris Nelson says it is Bobcat basketball. Big moment coming up in the game. You can imagine who the ball would most likely go to for the Bobcats. Watch out for Tyler Michael, 28 points. He has connected on all of those tough shots, especially from distance, so the Spartans need to make sure that he does not become the player to get that last shot. But how about Ignas Macioliunas? Drove to the rim with his offhand, did not score. Spartans got at least one offensive board, but Macioliunas got that second putback attempt, and how about his debut? He's definitely a guy that could compete for a starting position at point guard. You know, at the tail end of last year, we said that the point guard position is going to be a really, really fun battle to watch. It included different personnel at that point, but from Monty Kella and Ignas Macioliunas, the point guard position is now going to be a position of strength for the Case Western Reserve Spartans. Need to get a stop here. It is Nally, Hollis, Hansen, Inzar, and Iannotti, a defensive unit in there for the Spartans. 1.9 to go. Pettis is the inbounder. The bounce to Michael. It does not go, and we are going to overtime. That was one of the longer 1.9 second stints that I remember in recent memory, but the Spartans get the stop despite the fact that it went to the elite scorer and they came up short. So we're going to play 5 more minutes of basketball, but we'll take a break. Don't go anywhere. Deadlocked at 90. We are destined for overtime here at the Frostburg Gymnasium. Welcome back inside, everyone. I am Eddie Jansen, and a really exciting season opener here in the Stephanie Tubbs Jones tournament. The winner plays at 4 o'clock tonight. They will take on previously 13-13 Montclair State. And the consolation game tomorrow, that is no small task either. Greenville University, 14-4 a season ago in the St. Louis Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, 21-6 overall. So Spartans looking for a winner here. We'll get to the Spartan 5 in a second. There's the toss-up, and Hollis grabs it. It's Hollis, Macioliunas, Antonio Iannotti, Nally, and Darius Inzar. Macioliunas knocks it down. He pulled up and buried the jumper, 15 points as Macioliunas continues to build on a very strong collegiate debut. And there he is with a rebound as well on the defensive side of the floor. Going up against the senior Michael. Does not get it. Rebound to Dalton Gauze. Here come the Bobcats. They are trying to push. Nally defending. Blocked by Nally. But the putback. Daniel Alexander. Boy, those offensive rebounds for the Bobcats have really worked heavily in their favor ever since TJ Duckett went to the bench. Spartans don't have their offensive rebounder on the floor and haven't for a while. That's an open three. It's a deep one, but Ionati could not connect. Based on the reaction of the crowd, that would say Spartan basketball, and it is. They get a fresh 30 with 1 minute and 7 seconds gone by here in the extra period. Inzar scanning the floor. Hollis close to the rim. Fades into a shot, does not go. Rebound to the Bobcats. It's Pettis. Oh, Spartans defense fell asleep there, but they could not capitalize. A golden opportunity for Frostburg State was missed right there, so we remain tied. Here he comes again, faking that shot, had to give it up. Inzar trying to get some room into the paint. There he goes, and he's going to the line. So remember, in the overtime period, the fouls will remain up on the scoreboard there, so Inzar, either way, is going to see 2. Looked like he was in the act from this vantage point. So Hollis coming out for Todd McGinnis. TJ Duckett back into the game. Been a strong game for TJ, but with the flow of the game, been a while since we've seen him, but going to need his offensive rebounding prowess. As Inzar gets a pair. Misfires on the first. He'll try to come back and hit the second. In the meantime, that is personal foul number 5, picked up by the senior Dalton Gauze. Inzar puts it in. Darius now with 3 points. He had that huge bucket gliding into the paint that brought the Spartans to within 1. There's the soft touch. Jordan Johnson tried to will it home there with a finger roll, but it was a no-go. The Spartans will keep their 1-point lead. Nally on the give. Macioliunas looking for Duckett. Duckett not available. Out to the corner for 3. That's good. Antonio Ionati. Boy, Ionati and Macioliunas have a great synergy. Getting a piece of that 3 from Tyler Michael was Nally. Just a tiny deflection there. All of a sudden, it is the Spartans with a 4-point lead and possession as well. They'll try to build on it. Here comes Macioliunas, and that is good. Just a little curl right around the defense, and the Bobcats want to talk. The Spartans have exploded on a 6-0 run. They have outscored the Bobcats 8-2 in the overtime period, and things are looking good. But 2:20 still to go here in overtime. We'll be back. Well, this young Spartan team, boy, have they shown a lot of promise here. There are 9 freshman players on this team, including several of them in the rotation, and they have delivered against one of the more veteran teams that they will see, and they have come up big. Ignis Macioliunas has taken this team on his back with 17 points as well as 15 from number 13, Antonio Ionati. They have combined for 32 points between those two young players. Frostburg needs some offense. They will look to Tyler Michael. He is an elite scorer. The little push off there and a good bucket from Tyler Michael. So that will be good. He now has 30 points. It's been a career game for Tyler Michael. He brings his team to within 4. We're coming up on less than 2 minutes to go. Ionati passed up that 3. Try to get a better shot. Little give and go. Macioliunas almost lost it, gets it back. Jordan Johnson digging in on D there. Nally in the corner, baseline 3. Off the mark. And here they come. Bobcats looking to push. Quick trigger 3 in transition off the front of the iron. The Darren Campbell miss, gives it back to Case. Coming up on 90 seconds. Still with a 2-possession lead. It was a good look, but Frostburg not able to connect. Inzar versus Pettis. Tries to shake him off. Little shake and bake action. Duckett trying to help set that screen. Macioliunas is being shadowed by Alexander. Deep 3 right in his face with a defender. No. Rebound to Jordan Johnson. We thought about that 3. Did Tyler Michael. Here he goes. Offensive foul. That looked very close to what could have been a Bobcat bucket, but instead the Spartans draw the offensive foul, and that is a bit of a morale breaker for Frostburg State. The emotion that you see from them in the body language was not good for the Bobcats, but the Spartans love it. So Spartans will try to finish this one here as they, like a shark in the ocean, smelling blood. It was Macioliunas had it taken away, last touched by Frostburg State, so they will keep it with 53.5 to go, 21 on the shot clock.
Hey, you be sure to watch this tape.
What a great game for the Spartans in their first game. So many young players making big-time contributions, and speaking of which, Ignas Macioliunas has superstar written all over him. The native of Lithuania missed that free throw there, but he has really had some kind of a night. Could very likely see him as the starting point guard for Case Western Reserve very, very soon. He'll try to put the Spartans up 5. After coming up short on the first, there it goes. Spartans 99, Frostburg State 94. Got only a couple possessions left in the game as Michael tees up for 2 and connects. So 2 more on the part of the Cumberland, Maryland native Tyler Michael. Give him 32 of his team's 96 points. So they're back within 1 possession. We will take a break. Back to work we go. Spartans ahead by 3. Just under 44 seconds to go. They will have possession. Bobcats do not need to foul. So a very decisive moment here in overtime as we were tied at 90 apiece heading into the extra period. The Spartans have gone on a 9-6 run. More recently, 9-2 after the running jumper by Tyler Michael. Spartans just have to avoid a turnover here, and they should be in good shape. Masayola on the give to Nally, who will swing it out near side. Iannotti over to Hansen. Shot clock is at 10. Masayola using that screen. Here he comes, 6 to shoot. Gets it up, and no good. Got his own miss. How about the hustle there by Ignas Masayola? He has made an immediate impact on this game, coming off of the bench as one of the first to come off of the bench. But how about him getting that offensive rebound? And now Frostburg State has to foul. Masayola, what a debut for this young man. And he can put the Spartans up by 2 possessions, but he'll have to try it again. That one was a rubber rimmer.
Quick break! Quick break! Quick break!
Spartans really could use 1 out of 2 here from the freshman point guard. Well, he will go 0 for 2, so the Bobcats are not finished yet. Still a 1-possession game with 9.3 ticks to go. Well, aside from the last couple possessions and the free throws with Ignas Masayola, he has had some kind of night. We'll be back in just a second. Spartan 5 coming out of the timeout, going to include Connor Nally, Darius Inzar, Brian Domke, Antonio Iannotti, and Sam Hansen is the last of the Spartan 5. Todd McGinnis going with a bit of a defensive unit here, in need of a stop. Could not cash in on the 2 free throws after the offensive rebound by Masayola. So the Bobcats still have a chance, but they will have to hit one from range or they will have to score with a foul. Spartans definitely know that they cannot contact underneath the rim, so they will press all the way. Goes to Lawrence Pettis. Here he comes, and Inzar will foul him. That is foul number 10 on the Spartans, so that is going to result in 2 free throws, but it will deny the Bobcats an opportunity to tie. They can only pull within 1 here. So it was Inzar picking up the personal. Pettis has spent some time at the charity stripe here today. He's actually had quite a bit of success from the line here today. So we have 6.1 to go, but we still have a long way before this game's going to be over. Because you know that the Bobcats will foul immediately, and it will essentially become a game of free throws. 99-98. Will not have a timeout. 17 points for Lawrence Pettis Jr., so he's had a solid evening. And here we go. It is Hansen who is fouled immediately. He was swiped by Jordan Johnson, who will pick up his 3rd, and the Spartans will have to win this one from the charity stripe with 5.5 to go. Really, the entire game, I do believe the biggest lead for either team at one point was 8, but no more than that. It was really a well-contested game by both teams. Big free throws on the way for the young man, Sam Hansen. A 71%er, that's a big one. It'll make it a 2-point Spartan lead, hoping for 3. Mase Uliunas is coming off of the floor. Inzar is back in there. Hansen with one more on the way. This would be huge. It would make it a 3-point lead once again. So the sophomore pulls through. Under 5 seconds to go. They get it in the corner. This would tie it. Here it is. It's good. Unbelievable. They found Jordan Johnson in the corner. That was the look they were looking for, and double overtime is upon us. Wowee. What a big shot there. Johnson with 16. And how would you like to open the season in this tournament? Playing 2 extra periods. My goodness, that was a big shot. Well, the Spartans pressed all the way because they did not have to toss it straight to the 3-point line with 5 seconds to go, but that is right where the ball went, and what an amazing shot that was. Johnson's going to remember that one for a while. So we are not done yet. What a thriller here in the opening contest of the year, but how much can you say about the future of this Spartans team? Season ago, Todd McGinnis was in just his first year, got the job in late July, had to insert his system very quickly into this young team, and now has finally had a year or so to recruit some of his own talent, and he really has found some. Just 7 returning players for Case Western Reserve. 9 of them are freshmen from this roster, and we have seen significant contributions in the rotation from Mase Uliunas, Ayanati, as well as Brian Domke as the backup post player. And off we go. Double overtime. Inzar working with some room. Here he comes. Tries to go up with it. Not going to go. TJ Duckett, the offensive rebound. The steal by the Bobcats. Who else but Johnson? Johnson lays it in. So he has the last 5 points, including that triple from the left wing that sent us to double overtime. It was a game-tying shot as time expired in the first overtime period. Nally setting that screen. Inzar giving the D a look. A little between the legs action. Duckett back to Inzar to Nally. Inzar again. Single-digit shot clock. Ayanati for a triple. Nothing but net there. Antonio Ayanati. These young players seeing big-time minutes for Case Western Reserve. 18 now for Antonio. Duckett defending. Back to the top of the arc. It's Campbell way off with that 3. And a whistle called in front of the Bobcat bench. It is a holding call, says Eric Mogul. Stops the clock with 3:52 to go. Bobcats back to the charity stripe. Daniel Alexander is at the line. .50%er a season ago. That one a little too firm. So the Spartans' lead remains at 104 to 103. Well, for all of the Spartan fans in the building here tonight, boy, they certainly have gotten their money's worth. But still hoping for a clear-cut victor here. Duckett came up behind the three-point line. Now back to Inzar, 15 to shoot. That is Tyler Michael defending. Had to give it up. It is Masayola-Yunis, here he comes. Body control. That's a no-go. Rebound to Tyler Michael, who has been a very busy young man for the Bobcats. Nally defending him. Shot clock now down to 12. Inzar versus Pettis Jr. lost the handle. Clock stops at 3:08 to go, and we have a foul. It does appear to be on the Spartans. Though the trips to the free throw line really going to add up on the stat sheet. We'll get another one as soon as we can, but lots and lots of free throws for both teams here, as is usually the case in a close game. So the Bobcats now back in front, 105-104. And that's where it'll stay, as Bobcats will split the pair. Masayola-Yunis using the Duckett screen. Now had to give it up. Hansen patrolling that right wing, giving the D a look. We go to Duckett again. Tyler Michael defending. TJ has an advantage there. Spartans get it back. Shot clock did not reset. TJ going back to work. Too strong. And the Spartans come up empty. Alexander with a tough rebound. Under 2.5 to play. We are in double overtime here at the Frostburg Gymnasium. What a way to start off the year. Johnson trying to shake off Masayola-Yunis. He wouldn't have anything of it. Nally came down to the rebound and also drew some contact as well. Jordan Johnson, foul is on him. He has 4. And Nally, who is building upon a really solid freshman campaign. Nally a season ago was a 44% three-point shooter, with just 64% from the stripe on 14 looks. Nally in 25 games gave him just under 6 a game, but his offensive numbers will skyrocket this year as he is one of the starting forwards. He is 50-50 on that free throw try, so the Spartans will only tie it as we are coming up on 2 minutes to go. Hansen will defend the ball. As Campbell giving the D a look. Here comes Johnson off of that dribble. Out to the three-point line, open three. Pettis in and out and in again. So Pettis puts that one in. He's got 21. Bobcats by 3. Masayola-Yunis feeling it. That wasn't going to go. He was hoping to draw some contact, but trying to catch Frostburg State by surprise, but they knew that was coming. So this is a very meaningful possession here. If the Bobcats score, they've got a 2-possession lead, but they will not score. Spartans formed a wall defensively, and they get the stop that they need. Coming up on a minute to go. Nally needs some help. Masayola-Yunis got some room. Here he comes. No, couldn't get it, but we've got a whistle, and it's going to be Duckett picking up the foul. Well, Frostburg State in the last 2 minutes or so has been just one step ahead of Case. The lead is only at 3, but they've gotten the rebounds when they needed to and forced the miss when they needed to. Darren Campbell, the latest Frostburg State player, going to the charity stripe. Now the Spartans find themselves in a 4-point hole with just over a minute to play. Frostburg State started off 2 of their first 8 and now it seems like they can't miss. They were really a different team in the first 10 minutes or so of the first half, but they have really started to hit their free throws. Inzar trying to go all the way. That came up short. Bobcats got another stop, and they have to foul. It's Hansen who will pick that up. They inserted Colin Zucker into the game, but they have really not been able to get Zucker many looks from deep today. Colin Zucker gave them about 11 a night a season ago. He has a quiet 4. But we're not able to find a shot for him there. Pettis makes another one. And this Bobcats team just continues to hit free throws with authority after hitting just 2 of their first 8 looks. Well, now you're looking at a 3-possession game, so Spartans are going to need a bit of help. Here comes Masayola Yunus. Went up with it. Nope. Well, he went right into the teeth of the defense once again, but maybe the fatigue factor getting to the young Spartan team a little bit, but they were right there up until this second period of overtime and just seems to have worn them down. Remember, the Spartans had a 3-point lead with just 5 seconds to go in the first overtime period, and then that 3 from Jordan Johnson sent us to a second overtime, and it has been all Bobcats since. They have extended their lead to 113 to 105. 33 points now for Tyler Michael. He is looking for 34. Boy, they flipped on a switch from the line. They just could not miss after the early going. But what a great start to the Spartans' career as Antonio Iannotti is able to lay it home. There's a foul there. Picked up by Connor Nally. 30.5 seconds to go. So Spartans most likely going to play tomorrow at 2 o'clock. And that's going to be a daunting task as well. That Greenville team is awfully good. They run the floor awfully fast. That's a high-scoring team. And not to mention, oh, by the way, they won 21 games a season ago. Watching for 3. Air ball from Iannotti. Frostburg gets it back. And they will play keep away and not foul, so they will presumably just let the clock run down. So the Spartans will come up short in this one, but this was incredibly competitive all the way to the last 2 or 3 minutes or so of the second overtime period. Your final from the Horsburgh Gymnasium, it is Frostburg State 115. The Case Western Reserve Spartans 107, but they did get solid debuts from young freshman players such as Ignas Masayola-Yunus. Antonio Iannotti was strong. Monte Kila also had his moments, but the Spartans were outlasted by a veteran Frostburg team who really did stay the course and did not panic early. So we will tip off tomorrow. 2 o'clock p.m., the Spartans and Montclair State University. So we will see you then, and until then, this is Eddie Jansen saying thanks so much for being with us. Special thanks to the Spartans Sports Information Department and their athletic department, and to John Schwartz as well. So we will see you tomorrow. This is Eddie Jansen saying thanks so much for being with us.